Hey everyone, don't forget to stay tuned till after the video if you want to find out how to support me or where to follow me on social media. And also, if you like this video and like what I do, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for choosing me, and on with the video. Ableist, racist, classist, sexist, disgusting person. So the theme this week apparently in the BoPo movement is classism and ableism. First, yes, I got a haircut. Guys, my hairdressers from my local Great Clips, they did my hair. Took a little too much, can't lie, but they watched my show, and I can't lie, I still look good. So make sure you tell my hairdressers, tell my darling, she did an amazing job. Tell how good it looks. Go ahead, give her praise in the things. You know, let it all happen. And also, because you all know I've been bitching, I finally got a new chair. Only took me half a year. But anyways, I say all that for a reason. I have the luxury now of, even though being poor, having the ability to pace out things that I need and make sure that I use those expenses properly. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on TikTok, you'll see around my house, there's not a lot of excessive stuff. There's and what I mean by excessive is you don't see a lot of luxuries. It's a lot of normal things. You notice that most of my furniture is hodgepodged. You'll notice that my kitchen table is not exactly the prettiest. You'll notice that my walls really do need a paint job, and many, many other things. On my cooking live for my celebration of 1 year on YouTube, I was telling everyone how while I want to do it, the upgrades I want to my kitchen, I have to wait because they're gonna be expensive. And by expensive, I mean it might cost me a total of $1,000. That's expensive. And that's not including the appliances I need to upgrade, because the appliances were roughly 4 to 5 years old when I moved in here. And now we're getting on 4 years that I've lived here. So a lot of people like to sit there and say that whenever I tell people, for lack of a better term, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that I speak from a place of privilege. And I couldn't possibly know what I'm talking about. And I laugh because I've told you guys ad nauseum about my past. I grew up in a house that had holes in the floors and was stitched together by black mold, and appliances were constantly breaking. I went through most of my up to my teenage life without heating and hot water in my house. We had to boil my water. The house was constantly breaking. We couldn't keep up with everything, so we had to make do. I don't disparage my childhood, though. And I have found in the last few years that anytime somebody like I or Michelle or Alan Roberts or even my Gothix or Isaac Butterfield or anyone else tells fat people that yes, losing weight is hard and expensive, or it can be, but you can do it, we are met with, "That's very ableist of you. Oh, that's classist of you. Don't you understand how the poor people live? Don't you understand that there are people that cannot afford to be eating like that? They can't afford to exercise." And I hear all this. And I think to myself, the only way these people can hear our opinions is from one of these devices. Do you know what this is, guys? Does this look familiar to anybody? It's called a cell phone. A cell phone in this day and age is extremely accessible to nearly every part of the American population. Okay? Many people can get cell phones for free. Okay? Or for very affordable. We're talking $20 to $50 a month. And they can access Wi-Fi for free in many places. And the reason, again, why I bring this up is because that means you have every single tool at your disposal right here to learn how to do all of that for free. To learn how to eat healthy on a lower budget, to learn how to exercise without having to go to the gym or without having to buy extra equipment, even if you are on a schedule. I understand that a lot of people sit there and love to use the phrase, you're in a point of privilege. I can't with you, sir. You better stay there and not move. Okay, I understand that maybe you're working hard. I understand that maybe you're going to school. I understand that you might not have a lot of time in the day, but a lot of times the difference between healthy and not healthy is as little as 15 minutes. 15 minutes of exercise. Making the choice of, instead of driving down the street to get your mail, walking. Making the choice of, instead of me sitting down all this time, I might do some crunches. Because no matter who you are, you have motherless goat. Thank you, Axel. I got in another TikTok argument today. Because Alan Roberts, you guys know I got interviewed by him last year when I first started making videos. And he released a reaction TikTok to this woman that was speaking about how the diet industry makes over $70 billion a year, and that it's growing because they are feeding the lie to the masses that you can make your body smaller.
Did you know that the dieting industry is $70 billion and growing every year? Why do you think it's $70 billion and growing? It's because there are people who believe the bullshit, the lie that you're being told that you can somehow make your body smaller.
And I'm not even going to bother touching on that because I have a video that I've already made about all this, and you've already seen it. And I will link it down below. Here is the thumbnail right here. So you can go and find it, because yes, there is a weight gain industry. It's called the fast food industry. And do you know who loves the fast food industry? The fast food, not fat food. It's the same thing though. The medical industry. And I responded to that video by saying that how much the fast food industry makes. Billions upon billions. It makes over 10 times what the diet industry makes. And the medical industry, off of eating disorders and different issues alone. I don't want to say all of them because Papa YouTube will get mad at me. It makes billions of dollars, guys. And I said, aren't you wondering why the powers that be are trying to keep us fat? And that led to a dietitian going off on every excuse they could on why saying that it's your own willpower that keeps you from losing weight is ableist and classist. And I made this statement. Finally got my hair cut. Last comment about this, if you're here from TikTok, if the only way you can fight back at someone saying, hey, hold yourself accountable and you are responsible for your choices and the way you are, is, but what about economics? Well, what about classism? Well, what about ableism? And using the literally poorest of the poor and the most disabled in our population as a shield for your actions, that says so much about you. And I stand by it. If you need to use poor people and disabled people as a shield for your shitty habits, so you can sit there and say, well, you can't get mad at me by making that statement. You're making that statement to them too. None of us are even talking about them. None of us mention them. And if we're not mentioning them, if we're not saying that, then we're not talking about them, guys. Shocking, I know. We aren't talking about them. We are not meaning them. I even put it up in a short on my YouTube because I am so tired of hearing that excuse. And here's why it's an excuse. And Michelle said it herself. If I can get it, I'm going to put it right here.
This is a super old comment that I'm responding to, but I just had to. Someone liked it, and then I saw the comment, and I don't stare at my comments every single day, every moment of the day. But I always think it's just so funny when someone decides to just write me a paragraph about PCOS and explain to me what PCOS is when I have PCOS and I know how hard it is. So when I was struggling with my weight and I had goals, I had to literally tell myself to stop being a poor me baby bitch. Literally, I have to be harder on myself because it's harder for me to lose weight, especially someone who loves food. Like, I love being full, like overly full. I love to eat until it hurts. Yeah, it's a lot. It's hard, and it's harder for someone who has PCOS. So if you are ready to stop being a poor me baby bitch and get on it, you can do it. You can. I'm not too sure why you guys bring up PCOS. Anyway, life is just hard. It's just how it is. Things are gonna be harder. Have a hard time doing a lot of things. Choose your hard. You know that whole saying, choose your hard. You have to choose your hard. But it's always funny when someone has to write me a paragraph, a novel even. People will just write me novels about PCOS, and I'm like, yeah, I lived the life. I know.
There is nothing that keeps you from it unless you are literally a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. You are a minute population. Will it be harder? Absolutely. I don't deny that. But again, that comes down to willpower. Do you have the willpower to fight through those issues? Do you have the willpower to defeat those issues? Or are you just going to let them overtake you? Are you just going to let them be the thing that defeats you? That's the question. That's what I want to know. Because I got all these excuses. What about a mother who's a single mother and she's living in a hotel? Which, number one, if you're living in a hotel, she's living in a hotel and she doesn't have any money and the hotel doesn't have a kitchen. Okay, so go to the Goodwill, get a griddle. Go down the street, buy a cooler. And that's one of the things that I found over and over again. People sit and go, well, not everyone can get help. Well, not everyone can do this. Number one, if you are poor, every single town has a soup kitchen and a food pantry. And if you are that hungry, if you are that unable to eat, you can go get in line at the food pantry. And you can go get in line at the soup kitchen. They will feed you. Okay? That's first off. Second off, in nearly every town, there is some kind of Catholic charity. And Catholic charities are always there to help you. Yes, 9 out of 10, they might ask your religious background, but they will also help you no matter what. Guess how I know, guys? Guess how I know? When I first moved here to North Carolina, my husband and I had no idea how we were going to make ends meet. We thought we had jobs lined up when we first tried to get down here, but that ended up not working out, okay? Through one way or another, the jobs we thought we had lined up didn't work out. Then on top of that, we ran into money issues right before we came down, so we didn't have the money we thought we would, okay? When I moved here, we had our car, our TV, our video game system. I think we came down with a couple of pots and pans and the cats. There was nothing. Our apartment was barren. We didn't even have a bed, okay? So, wisest of choices? Probably not. But you know what we did? Matt got 2 jobs. I got 1. Okay? I would go to work sometimes at 7 in the morning, and I would not come home until 1 a.m. Why? Because I would make sure to go early, then I would clock into my job. I would work my shift, and then I would go and I'd wait somewhere for Matthew. So that way he could go to work at his 2 jobs without having to worry about me. Sometimes, to make sure that I would make it back and forth for certain important things, Matt would walk home. He would drive the car to me, leave the car with me at work, and then walk the 6 to 7 miles back home. And he did this quite a lot. I'm not saying it's fair that we had to go through that, but guess what, guys? That's life. There was many times we had to go to the soup kitchen. There was many times we had to go to the food pantry. We had to go to the Catholic charities. Someone said, you're not going to address having a deposit? Okay, there are Catholic charities that will pay your first and last deposit. They'll pay for that for you if you're a person in need. But you know what? This is going to sound shitty. I told a lot of you guys that in 2019, I was nearly homeless. I was going to live out of my car. And I was fine with that. You know why? Because sometimes, guys, you even have to get to that struggle. If you have to make it work, you don't make it your everyday, but you make it your in-between. There are times when life is going to suck. There are times when life is going to be hard. And I say this because I feel in this generation, we have felt that any kind of struggle, any kind of work, any kind of buildup is now considered suffering. And it's really not. Why do we all have these negative thoughts about rich kids and privileged kids and sitting in a place of privilege and sitting all this? Star sign, you don't know what you're talking about because of the color of your skin and social economics and racism and blah, 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 blah. One of the reasons why we have such a problem with rich kids is because they have never struggled. They don't understand the value of the dollar that they have. Abba and Preach keeps reviewing these girls that these are young girls, maybe in their 20s, that are in college. And when asked what kind of men they want to date, what kind of money they want their men to have, they're throwing out numbers like, he can't make any less than $200,000. He can't make less than $500,000, $800,000. They don't even know what the median household income is. So to sit there and say, you know, that I don't understand the value of that dollar is hilarious. But that's why. Because these people don't understand what it takes to earn that money. They don't understand what it takes to get to that point. You can't get there at a young age. And sadly, because they've never had that struggle, they don't understand the struggles of life. Because when you've had a lot of struggles in your life, when shit hits you, you learn to roll with those punches better. If you're late on money, if you're late on a bill, I have been at a point where we're talking every bank account was negatives. And one of them, I remember there was a very bad time where I paid someone money that I owed them, knowing that it would overdraft me, but I did not want to owe that person. And because of that choice, I got overdrafted over $800, and it took me 6 weeks, maybe more, to pay it off. That was one of the most painful times in our life. I will tell you right now, it was just excruciating. But I'm still here. And then I hear, oh, well, not everyone can do that. My credit score was in the 400s, but I worked with a bank that was willing to work with me. Sometimes you've got to get loans with a high interest. So I'm still paying off some of those loans. Sometimes you have to go through it, but you can make it work. Then I heard someone say, oh, well, what about appliances? I'd love to see somebody, get an appliance without anyone's help. Who knows what Facebook yard sale is? So I say, go on Facebook yard sale. You can find cars, you can find stoves, you can find refrigerators, freezers, any appliance you can think of in your local area, someone is selling. And almost every appliance I saw was ranging from $75, these are full functioning appliances, to maybe $500 was the most. And that was for those really nice stand-up freezers. Okay? Cars, I found some for as little as $900 to $1,800, which is an attainable number. If you are smart with your money, you can do it. And then I get told, well, there's no way that a poor person can survive of anything but processed foods. You may not eat excitingly, but you could eat on fresh, healthy, non-processed foods. Someone put it, you could go every day to buy a can of tuna, a banana, and an apple. And that will cost you less than $5. Okay? If you only have $20 to eat for the week, You can find ways around that. You can buy multi-packs of very healthy foods that are cheap and affordable and that are nutritious. Is it going to be the flavor sensation that rocked the nation? No. But you can eat. It's about being creative. It's about saying, you know what? Right now, this sucks. Maybe it's not the best food I ever had, but you know what? My belly is full. I have a roof over my head. I have a job, a way to get to it, and I'm alive. I slept for 1.5 years without a mattress. And then we got donated a mattress by our in-laws. Well, my in-laws there. Starman's parents. And that was a $200 mattress. Was it great for my back? No, but you know what? It was fantastic compared to the floor. You have to learn how to get there. And this is the same thing for being overweight. I'm not saying that it's not difficult to lose weight, especially as the older you get. But when you throw economic status at me, when you throw financial status at me, when you throw ableism issues at me, I have arthritis, I have sciatica, I weigh 400 pounds, I have OCD, I have ADHD, I have IBS. You want to talk about issues? If I eat the same food 2 days in a row, one day it might be fine, the next day it might be destroying my stomach. I have eczema, I have psoriasis. That's very difficult. You will always see I've got lotion and I've got Blistex at my disposal at all times. I have to constantly make sure I have powder. I have to constantly make sure that I use the right things for my skin so I'm not in pain. I budget it out. I prioritize what is important. But see, the thing is, a lot of you feel that luxuries are what's important. Well, if you don't have TV, if you don't have all these different things, you can live without those. Especially, again, if you have this, there's a lot of shit you can do right on here for free. Free. And the thing is, when you tell me, well, I have PCOS and endometriosis, so I can't lose weight. I challenge that because you might gain an extra 10 or 20 pounds from it, and it does make you more hungry, and it does make it more difficult to lose weight. But I've seen so many people who have sent me their before and after photos from when they lost weight that have PCOS, that have endometriosis. Again, we talk about Michelle. We're having a fight in the background, sorry. She had endo. She lost weight. And a lot of people say, well, you can't just, it's not as easy as saying if you can do it, I can do it. Yes, it is. In a lot of ways, it is. All it is finding your secret sauce. What is it that will help you to get there? What mentality do you have to break? What do you have to fight through to get to that point where you want to be healthy more than you want to be enabled? Where you want to be smarter about your life rather than be a victim. Because that's what it comes down to. This whole thing about the BoPo movement is nothing but victimhood mentality. But these same people that are saying that there's nothing wrong with being overweight then turn around and talk about illnesses and chronic illness and diseases and all these things that are caused by inflammation from being overweight. So you don't want to lose the weight, but then you want to, guilt people for telling you to lose the weight with the problems that you get from staying overweight. There is a way for everything. Going back to the young lady saying that, well, what about the person who has to stay in a hotel, which I'm sorry, I still don't understand how you can afford to stay in a hotel, but you can't afford to get a place of your own. At that point, you know what I would do? Because I was willing to do it, I would take the money that I was going to have in that really nice hotel, and I would get a really nice tent, and I find someone's house that I know, and I pitch a tent. Because that's what I was going to do. Call me crazy, call it extreme, I don't care. I was willing. Because at the end of the day, if you are that desperate, you need to be willing to do anything. I'm serious. You have to be willing to do anything to eventually be successful. You do. I have been at those extremes, guys. I have been at those extremes. and sitting there saying, well, okay, so let's say this is a single mother who goes into the hotel. Let's say stars align, she can go into a hotel, okay? But there's no kitchenette there, there's no stove, and there's no fridge, okay? So like I said, she could go to Facebook yard sale and buy someone's used mini fridge. So you keep just the shelf staples on there. You can get a little shelf, get a little mini fridge. You can go to the Goodwill, which always has old appliances, sometimes really nice ones. You can get a little griddle, a little George Foreman. You could get a little fry-a-late. You could get all these different appliances to do that stuff in there. Because no matter what, there's got to be a bathroom in there. So you can clean everything out in the tub or in the sink. Get paper plates. So that way you don't have to worry about washing dishes. Or you can go to the Dollar Tree and get one really nice glass dish. They have ones that are really nice and non-breakable. There's ways. There are ways. Oh, but Cassie, I can't afford to get that cooler. I can't afford to get that fridge. Okay, then go get a cooler. I can't afford a really nice cooler. Okay, go get a styrofoam one. There is always a way. I lived without electricity for, was it 3 or 4 months? From early May to end of September. How many months is that? May, June, July, August. May, June, July, August. 5 months. I can math, I swear. 5 months I lived without electricity during the hottest, muggiest times in Rhode Island, okay? And this was during the recession, guys. I was on unemployment. All of my family, we had me, Starman, my mom, my dad, and my brother. We all were bringing in income and we were barely being able to afford anything. We had to choose. My dad's a diabetic. We went and got a cooler and we packed it with ice and we kept his insulin in there. We made sure to make do. We went and we got one of those butane burners. I still have one as a result of that. I have a butane burner on me at all times for if something goes wrong. We went and got a butane burner. We went and we got a bunch of those oil lamps so that we had light at night. And we made sure that we were constantly buying shelf staples, and we would only go the day of or the day before to get the fresh food that we wanted to eat. That's what we would do. Was it ideal? No. But we did it. That was a household full of 5 adults. This is back in 2010. It's a long time ago. But I know what struggle is, guys. But if you let the struggle control you, you're never going to get out of it. It will win. And you will break down. Because you know what? There's a lot of times that I kind of miss those days. We spent a lot of time together. You know what? We didn't have internet. We couldn't charge our stuff. So we would go to the local library. A lot of days, my brother, my father, and I, we would all go to the local library. Starman, he went to work. My mother, she went to work. My dad, he would go to work sometimes, I believe, during that time. Had he already retired? He was bringing in some income, but I believe it was only through the VA. You get to those struggles, and they suck. But you get past them. When I moved here, right after my mother died, the water pump broke here. I lived 2 months without running water in this house because I could not afford to fix the pump. I had to save up for it. I had to put money aside. And at that time, I was only working 1 to 3 days a week. I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to sit there and say, well, my struggles are worse than yours. It's not what I'm trying to do. But what I am telling you guys is that you need to stop leaning on the struggle as if that's controlling you. As if there's no way around it. You can't beat it. Shit happens. And frankly, if you don't learn how to deal with it, then if something truly bad happens, you'll be the first to go. I joke all the time that if there was an apocalypse, I'd be okay. I know how to survive. Is it gonna suck? Yeah. I got plenty of fat stores though, so I'll start with that. But the point is, guys, there's struggle in everything. And if what you're gonna do is when I tell you, hey, you're fat because of your choices, and you say to me, well, that's very ableist, simply because you're thinking of how guilty you feel, but it makes you so mad that you've got to sit there and feel false outrage for the 1% of 1% that are actually unable to lose weight, which typically are people who either can't move at all or have actual medical conditions that keep them back, which, by the way, many of those people fight tooth and nail to not let their medical conditions keep them down. I want to say it's lymphedema, the one where your legs get really, really big and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Do you know how many people I've seen that have that medical condition and they fight tooth and nail to have a normal life? To get up, to walk around, to hold a job? Because they don't want to be held back by their disability. But you people want to hold everyone back by their disability and use it as an excuse, to use it as a shield. I'm not in the life of that. I'm not in the job of that. I am not able to handle that ideal because it's wrong. It is treating adults like infants, and it is telling them it's okay to give up. I don't do that. Never give up. You say a prayer to the man upstairs, and if you don't believe in him, sorry. Not sorry. But say a prayer, whatever you do believe in. And you work hard. And remember that this is not static. This is not your life. This is a small portion that will lead to greater things. Everything in my house is here because I bought it. Everything here is because of my hard work. I am immensely proud that when I walk into my house, I did this. I appreciate the items I have. And why? Because I struggled through it. Because I worked hard. And because I know what it's like to walk into a house and have nothing. That's why when I tell you guys, I have to hold myself accountable for what I did to my body. I saw it happening. But I allowed the loss I suffered and the problems that I was having to affect it. So I stopped moving as much. I stopped worrying. I stopped cooking. I let a lot of outside factors influence my stress. Again, I say, everyone that was looking at me couldn't understand what happened because I didn't overeat. I still ate small portions. So it was okay. But was it? Then I have people in the comments telling me, well, I do everything I'm supposed to. I'm athletic. I always eat healthy. I don't eat large portions. What's wrong with me? Okay, but do you follow your calories? Do you watch what kind of food you eat? Are you making sure that if you're eating it, it's not high in sodium or high in sugars, which both cause inflammation? Are you drinking more soda? Or are you drinking more water? Yes, my large water cup, which people are saying I have a problem. I've been staring at it now for the last 30 minutes. Ah, so much better. The addiction has been satiated. That's my point, though, guys. That's my point. I understand that when you're in that moment and when it is hard, that it's scary and everything seems like it's falling around you. But there's a silver lining to every problem. And there's always a way out. There is always a way to fix it. Take it from me. I am literally known. My mother used to say, I'm never going to worry about Cassandra. She'll always figure it out. And my mom was right. Why? Because I refuse. I refuse to fail. Even when I do fail, I look at it and go, well, how can I fix this? And I strategize, and I figure it out, and I make it work. And that's all I say to you guys. I understand it's scary, I understand it's hard, and I understand you may have things in your life that make it even harder. Doesn't mean you stop. Doesn't mean you give up. Keep at it. Don't give up. If weight loss is scary, face it head on. Don't let it defeat you. You have ample tools at your disposal. It is a Google search away. This app right here, YouTube. There are thousands of YouTubers making dietary videos, showing you how to cook healthy, showing you how to meal prep. There are thousands of videos showing you how to do free yoga, free exercise without needing any machines. You can do it. There are survivalist videos. There are videos showing you how to deal with the struggle. There are financial videos. There are videos telling you how to deal with economics, where to move, what to do with this. You are the only reason you're not succeeding. No matter the circumstance. If you are here in America and you are above the age of 18, you are able to hold a job, you are able to do anything. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. I need you to understand that. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. It takes dedication. It takes work. It takes being clever. You got to think outside the box. You got to make sacrifices. You got to understand the difference between a want and a need. And you also have to understand that in order to appreciate the good things in life, yes, you have to struggle. You have to deal with the bad. There's a song in My Little Pony. And I'm going to play a small excerpt from it, and hopefully I don't get copyrighted.
'Cause rainbows won't light up the sky unless you let it rain, and candles just won't glow until they're burned. No, you can't give up your laughter 'cause you're scared of a little pain. It's a lesson that my village never learned. No matter how hard I schooled them, fear of hurt is still what ruled them. Sometimes you gotta let it rain.
Rainbows won't light up the sky unless you let it rain. And a candle won't glow unless it burns. You can't give up your laughter because you're scared of a little pain. And that's the lesson that my village never learned. I don't care if it's a kid's show. I don't even think they meant to make it a lesson for adults, but guess what? It's a really good message. You have to understand that there is dark and light to every life. If you expect to live in a world where nothing ever goes wrong and everything should be handed to you and you never struggle, you are going to be upset and scared and victimized by life for the rest of your life. And I have pontificated for almost 40 minutes. So that's all I had to say, guys. Please, don't hold yourself back. You can do it. You can succeed. Will it happen overnight? No. Will it happen in a year? Who knows? You won't know until you try. Use everything at your disposal, every resource, every help. Reach out to family, reach out to friends. If you do work hard and you have health insurance, explore what you have available to you. You have everything available to you if you just try. I promise. Take it from me. I only scratched the surface of the shit that I've gone through because this isn't supposed to be a pity party or oh, look at how strong I am. It's not. It's not. I promise it's not. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to have a dick measuring contest. What I'm trying to show you is I have been there. I have been through so many things. What doesn't kill you does make you stronger. I wear what's happened to me with a badge of honor. Because I'm here today. And I'd like to think I'm helping a lot of people. So hopefully this has helped you. That's all I had to say about it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And Merry Christmas. Hey, if you liked that video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, help me out with that algorithm. I want to first off thank all of my patrons. You guys are amazing. You help fund me. You help me do this. Thank you to Lisa, John Quinn, Sherry Molosky, Emil DeVry, Edie, Anime Chan, Lady Derpy, Choco Hooligan, Amelia, Esteban, It's Brentley, Gina Cena, Rox, AJ Larre, Jenny Eller, Selma, Sarah F, and Pink Dolphin Milk 65. Guys, if you want to join my Patreon, it starts as low as $1 a month, goes all the way up to $20, whatever else you want to give me. And we have a lot of different good perks. You can get drawings from me, you get patron exclusive artwork, and I try to get my videos out as early as possible to my patrons, although I have been failing a bit lately. Don't forget, right now, guys, it is at No System. We have the 12 days of No Sismas, which is really awesome. It is the first 12 days of December, and from December 1st to December 12th, we have a featured item or a featured collection in the store that is going to be 20% off everything involved in that feature. So 12 days of savings. Make sure you check up on it. And also our 12 days of No Sismas contest. If you, any of my followers out there, have bought anything ever from No System, make sure now is the time. Post on your Twitter, your Instagram. Make sure that you are posting about your stuff. You wearing your No System gear. Tag No System in it. Use the hashtag There Is No System or the hashtag No Sismas. That is NOSYSMAS. Because that enters you into a contest with 3 grand prizes, guys. So make sure you keep up on that. And that contest is going till roughly the end of December. I'll make sure to get that date later. I might even put it right here on screen. So remember, go to nosisnose.com. That is nosisnose.com, and get yourself the deals that you need for this holiday season. And here is all of my social media. If you enjoy my artwork, if you enjoy my rants, and if you just enjoy me, you can follow me on all of these different networks. I am like Fly Poo, I'm everywhere. Don't forget to check out my older videos or my most recent video, which will be right here. And otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. And don't forget to tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. So, guys, I love you. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. Bye.